Yeah.
So, Mr. Marvin Washington, I've watched you in pro sports when you had your incredible career, watched you when you won the Super Bowl. I remember that interview at the end when they were talking about how long a career you've had in the NFL. Um, you're one of those remarkable people whose career has spanned decades. And I know a lot about you because we have worked together in the hemp CBD industry for
Yep.
years. I think I got into it in 2013. You jumped in 2014. So
Correct.
it's been quite the ride, and we've seen a lot of changes. I know that you have been an advocate for change as well with the Washington versus Barr case to push forth accessibility on a federal level.
Yep.
And regardless of how everything turns out, the states still have their rights, and I know that you are still a very vocal advocate for accessibility, especially for the children, and for professional athletes and for veterans as well. So thank you for joining us today. And since we had our last CANNA World Expo, you and I have been connecting dots all over the world with healers, with research. We had calls down in South America
Yep.
with healers in the United States that have ties in Europe, in the Middle East, in Japan. It's really been an incredible experience, and I want to thank you for being such a willing participant uh, with connecting people with resources and helping professional athletes that are struggling to overcome brain injury.
Correct. Well, thank you for the warm introduction, but I'm just part of the community like everybody else, and it's wonderful because you have good guests. And, we're working together in an unofficial and official capacity. I consider you a friend. I love you and Larry, and RIP to him. And I think we had a friendship there that even helped me in this community. Yes, yes,
There he is.
yes, yes, yes. I love them. And, so I'm still here just pushing forward this space, this community for athletes, for children, for soldiers, for people of color, because I feel like, you've been in since 13 and me 14. That's nothing. It's not even a decade. So this thing is still being built, and we just want to build it like better, not uh, doing business as usual, but a better business. We're going to have the opportunity. One of my legs is is an athlete, and so I wanted to kind of to develop a brand that was specifically for athletes because I was going on early on to the conferences and expos and going to all the booths, and everybody was telling me this is good for working out, this is good for recovery, this is good for whatever, but it wasn't specifically designed for athletes. And you're the one that made that possible by introducing me to the folks at Isodiol, and we came together, and I kind of told them what I wanted, and within 6 months we had a sports line out called Isol Sport, and started out with a few SKUs. Now we have probably a dozen SKUs that are specifically for athletes, and we've gone from trying to get it on shelves and online sales to being in over 500 vitamin shops. I can pretty much announce the deal that we've sewn up the Orlando Solar Bears. That's the minor league team of the Tampa Bay Lightning, who just won the NHL the title this year, and it's fully integrated. The players get to use our products. We get to brand them, wear sweats, do everything with them on and off the court. But the biggest thing is they're owned by the DeVos family, who owns the Orlando Magic. And that's what we were shooting for first with Orlando Magic, but we didn't get them because the NBA did not unblock the category. They feel like they're going to unblock it next year, but in our contract, we have a right of first refusal. And so I'm pretty confident that next year, when the NBA opens it up, we're going to be the first CBD team with a major league sports team. So I'm happy about that, but I'm happy about this is the evolution of CBD, cannabis, hemp in this space. And this is part of normalizing it. This is part of getting it into the community. And I still say like the dynamic athlete that's going to be everywhere in middle America and in all the coasts, and everybody's going to know that he uses CBD. It's probably in junior high right now, and that's fine because it's going to take a while till we get to that point, but we're going to get there, and these deals are part of it, you know. And I say that I was on my run this morning, am I working out? And I tell everybody, like, you know, I'm powered by CBD. You know, I live by, I take it every day. I don't know what my body is operating at, you know, whether it's 85% on one day or 90%, but CBD gives me the option to be working at 100% of that 85% of however I'm feeling, because I've had 8 major surgeries, from, you know, torn tendons to ligaments put back together to bones put back together and what have you. And so I can still feel the aches and bruises from that, but I feel like I'm still functioning pretty good because I work out and I still run. And I want to just go through some of our products and show you, like, this is not anything that you know, that I just tell people about. This is what I live, and everybody in our company. When I first came to Isodiol, none of these guys were taking CBD, and I'm like, what do you? Makes no sense. You know, I'm sure if you're working at McDonald's, everybody's eating the McRib and Big Macs and whatever. So I try to get everybody in our company on it. I try to get all my family and friends on it because I'm a big believer in it. And so I start out, you know, what we wanted to do was take you from the morning all the way until the night and have you infuse and bind CBD to your endocannabinoid system, have it infused in your system all day, every day, like microdosing. And it gives me, like I said, homeostasis. And so I work out a lot. So one of the first things that I take is our Cbd Daily Tablet. It's a tablet that has vitamin C, vitamin D, and vitamin D in it. It's just a daily supplement that I take, and that you can just take normally, even if you don't work out, but you can take it. It's all hemp-based CBD, and I take it. My kids take it. My mom takes it, and whatever. I'm a proponent of this, and we have it in a sister line as just regular CBD, a daily CBD tablet. This right here is post workout. This is called our Ease, and it has like and glucosamine in it. And this is what I call, you know, for me, it's oil for the Tin Man, because I have all these aches and bruises and whatever, and it just helps me. It gets rid of all that soreness that I have. And if the weather changes and we're getting free, I can feel it in my hands and my in my muscles, because when, you know, the pressure drops, I can feel it in my joints. But this really helps me. And it's wonderful. And as I tell athletes, and I'm going to go down and do the seminar with the Solar Bears, because I get to talk to the guys and tell them how to use this. It's just like, it's your recovery. You know, after a grueling workout and you're sore and what have you, I've been there. So instead of taking, you know, some anti-inflammatories and all this ice and heat and whatever, you can still take the ice and heat, but the anti-inflammatories with the, you know, Indocin or Naproxen or whatever they're giving you, this can do the same thing, and there's no negative side effects on your kidneys, on your liver, or anything like that. And, you know, you're still going to be sore, but you're not going to be as sore, particularly the next day. And then I end the day with just a cap of our rest. And so this has a little melatonin in it. And it gives me, whenever I take it, and I don't take it every night, but it gives me like a restful sleep. I took 2 of them November the 3rd that night because I need to get some sleep. But, you know, you wake up with this, and like if I took an Ambien or something over the counter, I wake up kind of sluggish. This doesn't do it because it's all natural, and I wake up and I'm energized, and I feel like I've gotten a full night of sleep. And this will take you all through some of the specific things that we have. If you do have any muscle soreness or even pain, topical pain, or what have you, we have a men cream that has a little menthol in it, but it's CBD, it's nano-sized, and it gets right past, gets into your muscle really quick, so you can feel it with the menthol in it, but it's long lasting. And this is something I use as a cream, like when the weather changes, whatever. I my fingers, I put it on my knees and whatever, and it lasts all day. And everybody loves this. And this is something for active athletes and the weekend warriors, particularly if you're over 35 and 40. You need this because you're gonna feel a little sore, and this takes the pain away. This is our concentrated CBD. You know, we were the first one that came out with the water soluble water, but you know, everybody couldn't carry water, and to us, it was cost prohibitive. You know, to be shipping a whole plat of water across the country. So we came out with this concentrate, and this is like a month supply. You can just put a little bit in your water, your juice. I put it in my smoothies. I put it on top of my salad dressing with my oil and vinegar. It's just something that you're another way, a delivery way that.
Seems like we lost Marvin here. Hey, Marvin, I don't know, you lost your connection somewhere. Denise, you still hanging in there?
Yeah, let me go ahead and text him and ask him to log back in.
Well, you never know what you're going to get with all the electronics going on. So I think that he caught that as well. And he just dropped out. So he'll pop in here in just a moment, I'm sure. And we'll get him, we will get him going again.
And he was not joking. Although water beverages, you know, it's still questionable as far as guidance goes in the industry. I can remember his company was the first to bring out nano encapsulated CBD in water bottles. And we would buy it by the cases at our wellness center, and it was so heavy. Hey, Marvin, there you are. I was just joking with Jessica about days past when we were buying the flats of the water for our wellness center, and it was so heavy. So it's nice to know that the concentrate has gotten so tiny in a little convenient travel bottle.
Instead of having 30 bottles or, you know, 12 cases and what have you. And we have different flavors. You know, we have
what flavors do you have?
Yeah, we have a bunch of different flavors with it. And so it came out instead of, this is convenient for me, instead of carrying a water bottle or what have you, you know, throughout my workout or whatever, because I drink a lot of water. And so instead of having 2 or 3 things of water or a big gallon of water, that's that CBD water, I just pour it in, you know, maybe a 24 or 16 ounce cup that I carry during my workout, and I drink. And if I need more, I just go fill it up and have the concentrate in my bag, and it's very convenient, and everybody seems to like it. I got a cousin in Georgia that I have to give him some more for, but let me finish real quick. Is that yeah? So my whole thing is for the weekend warrior and people that have, you know, that are runners and they have this soreness, muscle soreness. We also have a frost that you can just roll on, you know, anything, any aches and pains. And this is another thing that's all for the 10 man that really helps you out. And we have that menthol technology in it. You're going to feel it right way. It's going to get blood-brain barrier, really get into your muscle, and you're going to feel it. Everybody loves this. This is a hot seller. And then last but not least for me, in our line, but I take a high concentrate of the hemp oil, and we have it's CBD, and it's 100, and I mean it's 1,250 milligrams, and it has MTC oil from coconut oil, and it helps me. It definitely helps me, and I recommend this for everyone. And this is for people that get UAs. I have friends that are police officers and down here in Texas. You know, they're kind of behind the times. I live in Dallas. We're surrounded by Texas, but we're not in Texas.
Do you
But I
remember
do
the
have
Fort Worth conference back in 2016
yeah,
when we had
yeah.
hemp seeds and they were going to arrest us because we had hemp seeds?
Yes, with Ricky Williams and Jim McMahon. Yeah. So I like to tell people I live in Dallas and it's surrounded by Texas, but I do have family in Texas, and so they have to adhere to the rules of the local municipalities and states. And so my people that get UAs, I give them this hemp oil, and it has no THC in it, and it has MTC oil and what have you, and a bunch of different terpenes, and it's definitely worked for them, and I absolutely love it. So, but we do have in this rapid line, we do have a multi-spectrum if you want that full entourage effect with a little bit of THC. But this works for me, and this works for people that like Texas, that it's still 1985 or something like that. This will get them and introduce them to CBD, and that's how I get through my day. I feel good. Uh, and I can work out every day if I want to because my muscles are not that sore and my recovery is there. And this is something that I would recommend to everybody. And as I always said, I think this will be the easiest introduction to your friends and family that are not familiar with it, because one of the problems with the cannabis space is we preach to the choir too much. We go to these conferences and expos and be in the call, and everybody's like at 60,000 feet with this deal, and they know it, all the way down around. But to come to Texas or go to the Midwest or go to the South, they really don't know about it. And so, I literally had a lady grab her pearls when I said, yeah, I'm in the cannabis industry here, because she's thinking reefer madness and this, that, and the other, but it's not like that. And so one of the things that we did, and we put nice packaging around like most of our products, is because people are going to be more inclined to take a topical, and it shows you like it's for muscles, whatever, than they are going to take.
Oh, looks like we've got that going on again. So, looks like Marvin's having a few electronics technical difficulties today. I love listening to some of these stories, especially when you start hearing about all these different products and how they can alleviate the different, like the Tin Man story.
That's the story I was telling was we were down in the very first cannabis conference in Fort Worth, and it was in 2016, and it was literally a shock when police came in, and they were up in arms because we actually had cannabis products that were there on site. And yet there's no THC in it. But the whole education process is what Marvin was talking about.
I believe.
Exactly. And I was like, that's my snack. You can go get it at Whole Foods. You can get that at Whole Foods. And so, yeah, it was a big deal back then. Oh, he's back. He's back. So that was the big joke, was, getting arrested or potentially getting arrested over hemp
I
seeds.
remember that. I remember that. People were trying to hide seeds underneath their tables and what have you. And the sheriff had sent out a letter the night before. And like I said, it's Texas. It's not Dallas. It's Fort Worth, Texas. Even though I will say Fort Worth, for the first time in 4 cycles, went blue. So yeah, they're trying to get out there a little independent. So progress is happening with this plan. I'm very bullish on it. I'm very bullish on the industry. And we just got to keep pushing and talk about it in a responsible way, and don't give it hyperbole and overhype it and make claims that we can't make right now. Just tell them what it does and what it does for you, and that's going to be progress.
Yeah, well, we appreciate the fact that you're educating the public, because that idea that cannabis it still has that stigma tied to it. I remember when I tried to give it to my father, and he looked at me kind of strangely and said, "What are you trying to give me?" So, I mean, it took a really big conversation to explain the difference between the plants. And no, Dad, I'm not trying to give you something you don't want, but everybody has an endocannabinoid system in their body, and that's why all of your body functions work better when you have phytocannabinoids in your system. It helps regulate all your body function. So all mammals are born with an endocannabinoid system. Newsflash for some that are new to this topic. So in essence, mammals are created to consume cannabis. And it scares some people because of the history of the plant. However, when you can see people that are in such a debilitating condition, and within 24 hours, they're starting to shift back into a normal state. Or also, I think you have a pet line. Pets have an ultra sensitive endocannabinoid system compared to people. And when you can literally take an animal to a veterinarian and they do everything possible to save this animal's life, and then they say, go home, get ready, he's ready to transition, and you give a little bit of hemp oil to the animal that's based on its size, and they start to rebound. It is the most amazing thing to see. And this is personal testimonial from me. So I can go ahead and make those claims.
Yep.
So it's literally incredible to watch people transform. And that's why, as turbulent as this industry has been since 2013, 2014, I stayed with it because I saw the promise in how the children were getting better, and they were getting a better quality of life. It could have been a genetic thing where they have a certain condition that they will live with. However, their awareness, their ability to communicate, their level of pain has gone down. There's just a lot of different observations that have been made over the years. So there's a lot of promise. And can you tell us a little bit about some of the research that you're getting into?
We have some research going on with epilepsy down in Brazil. We don't advertise the drug that we have on our website, but it is for epilepsy, and it's a prescription drugs down there that Isodiol South America is really doing that. I can't really get into it because I don't know that much about it. But I will tell you this is we are looking, and thanks to you, about working with athletes and brain trauma one way or the other from DC to South America. That is going to be our next focus because, we need to kind of prove it, just not anecdotally, but maybe even with a small sample size or even a white paper, and show people that this thing is a antioxidant and neuroprotectant for the brain. And from, Dr. Chevalier in DC, he seems to be doing amazing work, and I can't wait to get that dialed in. And then down with Dr. Gouda in Panama, they're on the right track too. And I want to bring that together because there are a lot of ex-NFL players that need it, but one of the dichotomy is they can't show improvement because it will cut off their disability payment. And a lot of these guys are sustaining that disability payment. So we're trying to find the right guys. But one of the things that I've been thinking about, maybe it doesn't have to come from the NFL guys, because CTE and the closed head injury is not exclusive with NFL players. I've ran into guys from high school and college that are suffering from, the effects of CTE. And that's what's going to be isolated. Next focus is to start to get into some clinical research improving this, and then it's going to make it easier for the whole industry to go with sports teams and introduce this into communities. And this is something you can protect yourself with, because right now there is no protection, for your brain. The concussion protocol is to go lay down into a dark room, But we know from Dr. Meshulam that if you get a closed head injury or concussion and you get a high dose of CBD, it can mitigate some of the negative effects of concussion. So that's where we're going to go. That's what I want to see, and that's what you're going to see. And it's only a matter of time. I believe it's going to happen. I know that we didn't get the right ruling with the Supreme Court here in our case, but we just elected two people to the highest office, and they're cannabis friendly. We got some cannabis friendly senators, and the Senate hasn't been settled yet. Not to get too deep in the woods with politics, but look at election day. We have 5 states, either medically or recreationally, that's going off. We had Governor Cuomo in New York talking about going adult use. So I'm very bullish on the whole plant, and I know that it's going to come, and it's going to come through responsible adult use, and it's going to come through science and medicine. And I believe the plant is medicine, because I don't know anybody that smokes just to get high. He's trying to smoke to feel better. That's the whole deal. So that's why I say it's medicine. And one more thing before I do get up, it's just like we as a community have a responsibility to present this plant in the best light possible. I know I'm in my t-shirt now. It's my company t-shirt, but whenever I would speak in public, I was always in a suit and tie, because there's already a negative connotation tied to this plant. And so one of the things that used to get me at the beginning, Denise, and she knows about this, is that the news people will come there and get their B-reel, and it's always the guy in the big marijuana suit or the hat or whatever. You have doctors, lawyers, accountants, and what have you, all on that floor, and this is what gets the most attention. That's BS. So we have a responsibility to present this in a responsible way, and first impressions count. So whenever you're in this deal, man, make sure that at a professional level, because you're not just doing it and introducing it for yourself, you're introducing it for us, me, and this whole space, industry, whatever you want to call it. But I say we're not an industry because we're not federally regulated yet, but we are. We're a semi-industry. We're an industry. And we have a duty for the next generation to make sure that they can take this thing into the jet age and really put it in, because I truly believe it should be in every medicine cabinet in the country.
Thank you so much, Marvin. We sincerely appreciate your time and for sharing at the final 2020 CANNA World Expo. So how can people reach you?
Just through Twitter, MWash52, and then Isodiol on their social media and whatever. I pretty much cut down on social media because 2020 is something. And so I just wanted to concentrate. I'm pushing this industry forward and pushing it forward, and it was kind of a distraction. But I am on Twitter at MWash52, and then through the Isodiol website and whatever. I'm a pretty public guy if you know me. Everybody in the industry probably has my number, so it's no big deal. But yeah, if you want to reach me, just reach out to me on Twitter, and I'll answer any questions you have and help you out any way I can.
Thank you, Marvin. Appreciate it.
Enjoy
the rest of your weekend.
Oh, it's going to be wonderful. It just get good. It's just get good. They're celebrating out in the streets, man, and I got some fireworks I'm going to set off tonight. So,
oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Everybody take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. It's always wonderful to hear from Marvin, isn't it?
It is. It definitely is. So